These look like they could be coconut cookies, but I got that familiar smell of garlic. Wow. These are chunks of garlic that I minced up and added some oil to and froze. Some garlic cookies, anybody? That'll keep the vampires away. Well, this is the garlic that I grew in my garden, and I had this drying for quite a few months, and now it's time to cut these off, peel them up. We're going to save the peels, and we'll put those aside for a different video, and we're going to do something with these garlic so that we can save those throughout the year. So you can see I've got my garlic. This is pretty much all that is of the bundles of garlic that I have. So I went ahead and removed the peels. I'm putting them in this little blender here. Some of the peels I have left that will go in the freezer when I'm all done with this. Let's go ahead and get this blended up. Okay, we're going to start to blend this up. And we'll take a look at this and get it the consistency that you want it. This is perfect for me. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to start putting them in my trays and adding some oil to them. Yeah. So all I'm going to do here is take a tablespoon, just a regular kitchen tablespoon, and fill each of these holes of my ice cube tray with about how much I would normally add, like a teaspoon of crushed garlic. So we'll get these filled up, and we'll come back and then we'll show you what it looks like when we add the oil. And you can see I've got these all filled. This one I did fill with oil, and I'm going to continue to fill the rest of them up. I'm just going to cover them with the oil so that they're completely covered. And once this is done, we'll get these into the freezer so they can freeze into cubes. I'm just going to push this down so that every one of these little squares has the garlic down inside. Alright, we're going to get these into the freezer. Alright, this is the last of the garlic. I've got it all chopped up, minced up, and I'm going to do something a little different now that I've got my cubes of garlic in the freezer. Now that might take a couple weeks to freeze thoroughly. I'm going to research that a little more. I'm just going to pour some olive oil in this to kind of coat it. And I'm going to take teaspoonsful and just kind of plop it on the wax paper that I've got here on my tray. Just to kind of coat it and not really put it in cubes, but put it in like clumps. And we'll freeze it that way. I did go ahead and put foil over my cubes that I put in the freezer, and I will also put foil over the top of this just to keep some of the smells in from going to all the other foods. I'm not really worried about that, but just to also keep it protected. So this is how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to take some globs, about that much, and just put them down. I do like to use a lot of garlic in my food. So when these are done being frozen, I'll just take them out and, well, actually I'm going to wrap these individually in, or once they're frozen, they'll be individualized, and I can put them in like a Ziploc baggie and take them out. Maybe I'll have to secure them in a little something. I'm not sure, but I'll work on that once that happens. So when you're done with these and you've got them all froze, what do you do with them? Well, you can put them in a frying pan, let them melt, and whatever ice that's in there is just going to dissolve or evaporate, and you can start cooking with it because you've got olive oil and garlic. Or you can put it in soups. The little bit of oil shouldn't harm anything. Put it in casseroles, whatever you've got. Well, I just went out and got my garlic out of the deep freeze, and this is what the cubes look like. I don't think I showed all these small trays I had, but those are some frozen ones also. And these are the ones that I didn't put in a tray. They came out rather good. I think I'm just going to cut the paper into little squares, and I'm going to get these into some plastic bags. All right, and we're just going to pop these out of this nice silicone mold and see how easy those pop out. I'll give you a little visual of how I'm getting these out of these metal trays. I'm using a spatula. They are starting to melt on the bottom, so just scoop them up. You need to work quick. You need to be prepared to have room to put them, to have a bag ready to put them in or some kind of container. And this is going to be a great use of this garlic. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, this only took 24 hours. It would be frozen right away. I got myself mixed up about a different type of oil that needs to freeze for about 2 weeks, but we won't go into that here. So these don't stick to each other once they refreeze. I'm kind of making room for each one individually. These are the ones that were not done in a cube, but they were done individually on a piece of wax paper. I did cut the wax paper into little strips and brought them up on top of each other. We'll get this one into the freezer also.